being paid and you weren't home and she was alone with the baby? Did that happen in any way, shape, or form?
Yes, for maybe 2-3 days at a time. But look, yeah, for maybe. Look, I'm not.
Aren't you concerned about not having electricity in Vegas with a newborn?
Yes, I am.
How did that happen?
We eat the money, we smoke the weed with the money, and she gets weave and stuff. Like,
I haven't worn weave in a year, over a year.
Can I talk for a second? Stop lying.
Are y'all in a position to leave one another at all? Do you have enough money to live separately?
No.
Yes, we do.
I don't.
Yes, she can. She
and you get put a baby in me, so now I got to deal with that.
And this is okay.
You say you want $1,800 for property damage to your place. You say $600 for closet mirror doors that she shattered, $600 for French doors she broke, and $300 for holes she punched in the walls. Did she do all that damage? And when?
Huh? She did. I got videos of it. Why did I leave my phone in the back? She took a.
Let's see. Turn around, Ms. Bundle. Is that what?
We both did that.
No,
and the reason that happened is I caught him on FaceTime with a girl.
No.
That's why all that happened.
No, she did that on Memorial Day because I told her she couldn't get her hair done on Friday. She had to get it done Saturday. So you did that.
Hey. So the mirror.
She did that with my son's crib. She did with a hammer. No, it ain't no we about it. I'm not destructive. I don't do that. Why? Why would I do that?
How about the French doors?
He did that.
But you know,
because he doesn't like for me, when I get mad at him and I just want my space, I'll go in the room and lock the door. He doesn't feel like I can, this is back to the controlling thing. He doesn't feel like I can lock doors in his house, so he kicks them down like the police.
Whoa! You really just gonna sit here and lie like that? You do.
You are
listen to me. Look, I will admit to anything I did. The only thing I would be the perfect dude ever if I had a lot of money. That's the only thing I cop to, which is the worst thing in the world not to have.
No, it would just make it better.
No, it would be so you don't always bust in the doors and
hey. Oh, I've listened quite enough. Quite enough. And it's the same conversation over and over and over again. Do you know what has happened to the two of you? You've choked on your own culture. Just choked on it. You think that who you are is your hair and your nails. You think that love comes through his hand and is put on your head and on your hands. You believe that the most important thing, not in having money, but showing money. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. $50 because you fine. You ain't rolling that hard.
If I would have thought that, I wouldn't have. Okay,
please be quiet.
I'll let you finish.
Please be quiet. The culture is killing you. You've had hundreds of thousands of dollars roll straight through your hands. Straight through your hands, and you hung on to nothing. I would not put a bunch of weave on my woman's head. Wouldn't do it.
I don't. I told her to get.
You just bragged about how often you've done that.
Can I please?
No, I'm done. I'm finished. I wish you two the best. I really do. I wish you two the best. The thing that I would say to you is this, is you need to go and get some counseling and fill up that hole that's in your heart and in your soul. Because all the pretty in the world won't do it. All the men in the world can't do it. All the money in the world won't do it. And I think you're lonely, and I think you're sad, and I think that you find ways to fill yourself up. And all of that crap that they're selling you on Instagram and Twitter about what it is to be a woman and whole and great and wonderful, none of that is true. It's just window dressing. It's just a storefront. It won't sustain you. It won't keep you whole. It won't keep you solid. You can have all the 50-year-old dudes running after you day in and day out, and you'll get home and you'll still be lonely and sad. You've got to find yourself and your soul. Window dressing. And you think you know everything, so there you go. You know the baby is yours, right?
Duh.
It is.
Nobody makes that amazing but me. Huh?
He looks just like me, though.
No, he don't. I just got a beard.
The thing I would ask,
how y'all doing out there? What's good, Zyfe?
If it's not, if
Kira was ham.
Has nothing to impart to you, just ignore it. But just don't say anything.
What's good?
The best thing
y'all
you can
give me a
do
second.
For her
We
is
coming
help
on.
her fill up her soul and help her fill up her own mind about her own value that is unrelated to what she looks like or who likes her. That's all I would ask of for you. What is it? What do you have, a boy or a girl?
Oh boy.
A boy. Teach him to be a dude that's gonna hold up and defend his community, not destroy it. And you do that by being the kind of man that defends and holds up his woman. You with me on that? Yeah. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
At the end of the day, she gave her some good advice. She told me to do what I've been trying to do and why I told Brianna to come on to call divorce court so she can get that advice. But, you know, I ain't mad about it. It's all good.
So what's next for you? Will you focus on yourself as well?
I'm focusing on myself. I mean, I can't speak on, you know, what's gonna happen. I'm like a go with the flow type of person, but I can't keep putting energy into this relationship. This is painful sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's just really painful how he treats me.
Judge, today's case is family affair.
As far as I can tell, the problem is this. His family doesn't like her. Never liked her, still don't like her, and we gotta figure out why.
Court is now in
What's
session.
good, YouTube?
The Honorable Judge Lynn Toler presiding.
What it do?
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today
What
with
up,
Deborah
Chet?
Smith and Bob Smith. The two of you have been together for 15 years on and off. Married 11 years, separated for the last 4. Mrs. Smith, you have brought Mr. Smith here seeking almost $500 for various electronic items, and we'll talk about that momentarily. But before we do, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here today?
We are here today because the main issue with him is his family.
Okay.
Ruined us. From day one, he came in, he feels the same way, so I'm gonna say he's the same way too. His family started treating me like garbage.
Give me some examples. What is he doing? Mr. Smith, I will get to you. We will finish with this first.
First off, his phone used to ring all the time. You know, he did have his own place, but he wanted me there. Who is that calling you all the time? It's my don't answer. She called every minute. So one day I decided to pick up the phone. You know what she did? Get out of my house. What? Who are you? 10 minutes later, she downstairs. Police knocking on the door. I peek out. She downstairs.
Oh, no.
And they done it 8 or 9 times in this relationship as well.
Did somebody in your family call the police on her because she was at your house?
Hold on, let me say it one
Don't
time.
lie. Don't lie.
Stop.
They did it one time. One time.
Well, that's one time too many, don't you think?
Just one time. They did it one time. You right. But they didn't hear from me or nothing like that, and they thought something had happened because of the type of attitude Deborah has and stuff like that.
Well, tell me about the type of attitude Mrs. Smith has that concerns your family so.
Well, Deborah can get real physical and get real angry, especially if I'm out in the public or something like that, talking to one of my friends from back home or something like that, especially a lot of women friends and stuff. If I hug them and stuff like that, she get upset. Or I try to introduce her to them and stuff like that. She gets upset. I don't want to meet them. I don't want to meet them. Everybody in your circle, I don't like them.
Are you loud and poppy when you're around his people?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Hang on. Why are you loud and poppy around his people?
Really, truthfully, because they old, and they gangsters.
They're old?
Old and gangster.
Old.
O-L-D, old.
O-L-D.
And gangster.
Gangsters, lean.
How can you hold their age against them?
I'm not holding their age against, I'm disgusted. I'm 38, and I won't raise like that, so I don't understand none
You're
of it.
disgusted by what?
Their behavior.
Tell me about their behavior. Give me some examples.
Okay. How would you feel?
Oh, that ain't.
Okay, yeah, we had a little argument. We did. Okay, he calls his people, they gangsters. It's another time, you know what I mean? Do.
Oh, no.
Police.
No.
Mr. Smith, no.
Now, see, this the
Just,
thing.
I'll
You
get
don't
to
ever
you,
let me
honest to
talk.
God.
Please, listen to her, you're going to jail. I'm sorry. Police come to the house asking me to hold my hands back. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Why you in my house where my kids this time of the night? That's my house. You know what I'm saying? He tells me family members are calling to do a welfare check. I'm holding him hostage. And he's standing with me, opening the door. See, the ticket is when he called them, they gangsters. They don't like me. They can do what they want to do, and I'm about tired now. Yes, I am.
Mr. Smith, did they call to do a welfare check on you?
No,
Did you thought you were hostage?
No.
You were held hostage?
I got the kind of family, right, that we always check on each other. Because you never know what's out there now. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a lot of stuff going on out here in this world now, and whatnot, and you know.
But you a big boy and you with your
Yeah.
woman. They calling the police because they scared of your woman.
I know, but that only happened one time when me and Deborah got in a bad argument. And
Excuse me, Your Honor.
every time,
Hang on, let him
hold
finish.
up. Every time she get in an argument, she like to call her family member up. I said, well, look, you know, every time I get upset, I need to talk to one of my family members. I can't talk to her. If I talk to her, she cut me off.
Yeah.
and
Tell
stuff.
me about the time she showed up to the funeral in what you say was inappropriate attire.
Oh no, it was one of my family members saying she needed to come better.
Better dressed. Did
Better
you
dressed.
see what she had on?
Yeah, I saw what she had.
What did you think?
Well, I mean, I thought she looked nice in it. But I got some of my family members, you know what I'm saying, they kind of uppity.
And what did they do?
Excuse me, Your
Every
Honor.
time,
Hang on, let him finish.
Every time she get in an argument, and I
Is-
told them don't never let here in this world now. My wife feel out of place, and she ought to respect me for that.
Right.
Because
Because you put your family in their place for having
I
done
said,
that.
y'all don't never make her feel out of place. It's because I'm an outcast in my family.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
How is that? Why is that?
Because, you know, when I was real young, I ain't gonna lie, middle school, high school, you know
You
what I'm
cutting
saying?
up?
I was cutting up.
Yeah.
I come a long way. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you no lie.
No,
But
okay.
I can't, you know what I'm saying?
You can come back from cutting up. I get that.
I got through all that, and I feel like now I'm reliving it because of her. You know what I'm saying?
Ms. Smith, did you
I'm 10 years older than her. And when I first met her, I had something on my hands 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I had to groom her into trying to be a mature woman. You know what I'm saying? I like,
Oh,
How
really?
successful
I
were
said,
you?
what in the
Who were you?
Yeah, I tell you.
You not sure?
Huh?
You're not sure?
He can't even tell you, I'm sorry. He couldn't even tell that lie.
What happened at the funeral, according to you?
Okay. Am I allowed to step right here to show you what
Yes, you can.
I had on something just like this.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? What is wrong with this? You wouldn't have put this on me if I couldn't wear it in front of your precious self. Now, I love his grandfather, so I came looking like something like this. They always controlling. That's where he got it from. Trying to tell me what to wear, and I'm not gonna listen, because my mama do not do that to me. This what I did. I'm gonna show you or tell you.
Show me.
Show you?
Look at that.
I did this. Bleep you. Bleep you. Bleep you. Bleep you. And bleep you. And bleep you. Then I walked out and left.
But you didn't start no stuff at the funeral, did you?
This what I did. I'm gonna show you or tell you.
Show me.
Show you?
Look at that.
I did this. Bleep you. Bleep you. Bleep you. Bleep you. And bleep you. And bleep you. Then I walked out and left.
Is that what she did?
No. No, she's telling it wrong. She is telling it wrong.
How
I'ma
do
tell
you
you
say
something.
it went?
She wasn't the only one that came. One of her family members came in there with even more naked than she was now. I ain't gonna sit there and tell you no lie.
I'm sorry, she
You got,
did.
listen, you showing up at a funeral and you got a lot of elderly people in there. You got some
Right.
of them that was, you know, that had been around
Right.
since women were wearing dresses
I got you.
and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Respect. She had a lot of problems respecting older people.
So she was a little too exposed,
Yeah.
and her friend was too exposed.
Her family member
Her friend was too exposed.
Yeah.
What did she say when your family member said something to them about what they were wearing? She said she cussed them out secretly. Did that happen?
Yeah.
But was it loud or was it
No, I
secret?
won't lie, it was kind of low.
It was a low cuss out.
Low cuss out. See,
Yeah. And I'm like,
Only person that showed up was one person. Actually, two people.
So they didn't think you were gonna commit to one. So they didn't believe you were really gonna go through with it. Were you faithful to her once you married her?
We still married technically. Well,
I'm listening.
I still am.
Well, when did he stop being faithful?
stop being faithful when I had to go wake up. Came back, my neighbor, I ain't gonna lie, I smoked cigarettes outside. I smoke cigarettes outside. She all like this. The minute I come in, she bad now. I'm like, what's wrong with her? I don't need to talk to her.
You know-
Do you know what she's talking about?
I sure don't know.
What would you like to tell me about the nature of Mr. and Mrs. Smith's relationship?
I would categorize it as two gladiators just hanging in there for their kids, but the whole situation is range course. Sometimes you gotta know when to pull in and pull out.
I understand that we have a witness here that might be able to assist me. Is that accurate?
That's what I'm told.
Nick, could you go get them,
Close
please?
down.
Listen, let me say something, one thing.
Mr. Smith.
Hush, Bob. Just please let me let my husband hush sometimes.
Judge, she didn't tell you about that tattoo on her arm, right? That she got from
What tattoo on your arm?
on her arm was my boy tattoo. She just had that recently put up there not too long ago. Look
Whose
at that.
tattoo? His tattoo?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yes.
what in the world going on? Who does that?
Well, Mr. Sproul.
James
Mr.
Bond
Sproul.
Revelations, right.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm beautiful.
What would you like to tell me about the nature of Mr. and Mrs. Smith's relationship?
It's domestic. It's
It's
sloppy.
what?
Domestic. It's sloppy. I would categorize it as two gladiators just hanging in there for their kids, but the whole situation has ran its course. You know, sometimes you gotta know when to pull in and pull out, right?
Y'all can find me on Kick at Jace92. That's JAYSE92.
To the situation. I'm tired of being
How
the
were you
coolest.
the
Not sure why it's
remedy
not
to the
popping up
situation? How did they
on,
involve you?
Whenever Bob
YouTube,
has a
but the
problem,
game's
he calls
showing.
me. Whenever she has a problem,
She calls you.
right? They are gladiator parents. Period.
They're great parents?
Period.
Yes,
Period.
I am.
Let's solidify some respect. Let's solidify some respect, right?
So, you're not more in one person's camp than the other?
No way. No way. 50%. 50%.
50%, 50%. Mr. Smith, do you agree that the two of you, though great parents, are incompatible as a couple and you use him as a buffer?
No, I just, sometimes I call my boy Rich because, you know what I'm saying, I need somebody to talk to. If I call some of my relatives up.
Too much, yeah.
Too much, she be done got upset. Well, what you calling them up for?
That's right.
That's right. So I gotta have somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying?
Mrs. Smith, do you use him for the same thing?
And listen.
Well, I actually used him for something different.
Oh yeah. What you using it for then, huh?
I don't know what I could say. I want to get this out to see if we're going to stay married or not.
Go ahead, sing it.
Bob better not hit me.
Well, what do you have to say?
What you gotta say?
What are you doing over there?
Sure, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
What?
Protect me.
say-
You scared to go.
I don't know. know. You tell me. What is it?
I mean, whisper it and say it out loud. I don't know.
Just say it out loud.
Say it out loud. I want to hear.
Bob, I'm sorry. Do you love me? I'm sleeping with him.
I thought you said you were the equalizer.
I thought I said that too.
Uh-oh, what do you look like?
I
What do you look like? What do you look
some
like?
extra, right.
I'm sorry.
Extracurricular activities.
Sorry, Rich.
I equalized a little bit more than I was supposed to.
I'm sorry, Bob. We stopped, though.
Respect.
We don't do it no more.
Respect. No,
There's no due respect when you're sleeping with his wife.
True.
Can I
true.
speak?
No, let Mr. Smith speak, because he just heard this nonsense.
It don't surprise me with her. Now, it surprised me with him, but it don't surprise me with her.
Why doesn't it surprise you with her?
Because I always thought my wife was doing something behind my back all these years. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you no lie. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Life is too short.
You ain't mad?
Hey, I'm upset, but I ain't gonna cry with no spilled milk.
Good for you.
Okay. I'm glad because I'm sorry. No.
You know, the interesting thing was...
Huh?
Can I apologize to you?
Yes,
Can I apologize to you? We gangsters, you already know.
You knew already. Ain't no way in the world
It's
you
all
didn't
right.
know.
Did you know, Bob?
Did you
have an idea?
know?
You know what? I had some
Suspicious?
suspicious, you know, but like I said.
But you were wondering where the Valentine's Day sex was, weren't you?
Exactly.
It was
Plus,
important.
the sex had kind of.
No energy in it. There wasn't nothing going on. Well, now, Mr. Sprill, what do you got to say about this whole thing?
I'm kind of sort of lost for words, so I gotta find some. 1, 2, 3, find some words.
Well, why are you looking for him? Let me ask.
No. I apologize. The only words I have right now is ones of apology. Stop smiling. Ones of apologies, right? Gladiator parent, I love you to death.
Yeah.
Can't say it won't happen
Well, if you
again.
love me, you wouldn't have done what you
I
did.
would have done it. I would have done it. But she's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's not true.
She's beautiful.
People go through real situations. You shouldn't be letting me go to him to talk to him by myself. That's your fault.
Let's
too
just
now.
remedy it.
No. Hold on. Wait a minute now.
Hey,
Wait a minute. Oh, let me say something right quick.
No.
Could
Your
you
fault,
escort
too.
Mr. Sprill out of here?
That's your fault for
Love
being.
y'all. Love y'all.
Listen, that's her fault for being weak.
See, I feel bad now, you know?
That's her fault for being weak. That's all it is.
I don't know
You know, it
what's
is.
happening
No,
here.
can I say something?
Bob, come on.
Hold on.
But whatever's happening, I
minute.
don't
Don't cut
like
me
it.
off.
Mr. Smith, what do you got to say? Because I'm about to
You know
go.
what? There's a such thing. Listen, you're in a situation like there's a such thing as you getting on your knees praying and ask God to help you if you got. You understand? I had to mold you into a woman. It took me 15 years to do that. And that still ain't happened yet. You went and
He
done
can't
that.
mold me. You hear this?
Yeah,
Trolling
you went
is
and done that. You went and slept with Rich.
How can
and
you
you put the
mold
tattoo
me?
on his arm.
Stop.
You put the tattoo on his arm.
I'm going to get it off. I was a little...
I don't know what you're talking
Can
about.
I say something else?
But what?
Please let me
what?
say something else.
Yeah, go ahead.
Disgusting her.
You-
We're discussing her.
Give him a moment.
Listen, you ain't even been with him that long. And look how long it took you to tattoo my name up there. And I've been with you 15 years.
I had you there first.
You had me there first, but look how long it took. You know what I'm saying?
He
We've
got
been
it.
together since
Look.
2004.
At the end of the day...
Mr. Smith, I think you worried about the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Okay.
I really do. I think you worried about the wrong
Thank
thing.
you.
You're right.
Mr. Smith, don't. You fooled around and proved his family right.
No, they can
You
fix it.
did. You did.
They can, because what I
Mr.
did,
Smith?
God forgave me.
Move on.
Yeah, move on.
happily. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about the money, because I ain't giving her nothing.
He broke my stuff. You better tell her you broke my stuff.
You can't come in here and do something like that and then ask me for something.
No,
Good luck,
it's
Mr.
not
Smith.
like he broke my stuff.
There will be no recovering this matter. It is so ordered.
Go, girl. You better work it.
Listen, I'm Team Bob here. I'm just put that out there. But, all right, I know you guys were friends for some time, so I'm gonna try and mend this. Is there anything you want to say?
Of course. I deeply apologize. If there's any way we can remedy it, I'm down for it. Pretty sure there's nothing I can do to take back anything that already happened. But if I had a second chance,
Get on your knees and pray.
Get on my knees and pray.
Yep, ask God to
Leave it
forgive
at
you,
that.
man. All right?
Leave it at that.
All right.
Judge, today's case is Stepford wife.
Today, I have a good couple here. Nobody's cheating, the money's straight, yet the wife seems awfully hurt. Let's see if we can figure out why.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toler presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Kiana Glover and Darian Glover. The two of you have been together for 5 years, married for 4. You got a 2-year-old and a 7-week-old at home. You are, however, very unhappy, Mrs. Glover, and you are thinking of leaving. If you do, you want the car, and we're going to talk about that. But before we get to that, Mrs. Glover, why don't you tell me why we're here today?
Well, we're here today, Your Honor, because my husband expects me to be barefooted, pregnant, chained to the stove. It's not the 1950s anymore. He need to shape up before it's too late.
Uh-oh, Mr. Glover.
You know, I do what I need to do as a husband. I work 14-hour days.
That's
I'm
true.
a truck driver, and I expect her to participate. That's all.
Tell her in what ways, though. Tell her in what ways.
That's a good question. Now,
Well,
let me
if
do
I-
it from now on, but we're going to let them have that one.
Okay, Your Honor.
Tell me, what kind of participation do you require and whether or not she's living up to that?
If I'm going for 13, 14 hours a day, I shouldn't have to ask you to cook. I shouldn't have to ask you to clean. Matter of fact, I shouldn't come home to a dirty house. And that's all I require.
Now, Ms. Glover, do you work outside the home?
No, I've been home. I had a cesarean not too long ago, so it was painful for me to keep the home up
No,
to
no,
top,
yeah,
you know.
it can be
'cause
difficult.
I'm in pain.
Well,
even
what
when
does he tell you you're not doing well enough?
It was signs from the door. Let me run it back to
Okay.
the beginning, okay?
Let's go
Like,
back.
yeah, we're gonna go back,
yeah.
brother. So, yeah. And the beginning was signs already. Like, this brother expected me to cook him meals every day when we were just dating, okay? Like, I'm expecting us to go to the movies every Friday, Saturday, get to know each other, go to, movies, dinner, dancing. This brother looking for a stuff of wife straight from the door.
She
whatever.
flip-flamed me
And-
first.
No, whoa, I
Yes,
did.
yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Mrs. Glover. Mrs. Glover, hang on. Mrs. Glover, I want to hear about the flim flam. What did she
Okay.
do?
Oh, my God.
She said when we
Okay.
first started that, I wanted her to cook. No, this is how it went. She said, if you put some food in my refrigerator, I'm gonna cook for you.
No, I said
Then
as a
I bought you
wife,
food.
and don't bring that story
is
up. 'cause
before-
we
Now,
were
Mrs. Glover, that
we were
sounds like a
friends.
story that may have
This-
happened.
No, that wasn't. I swear. Listen now. I said I would make my man a sandwich every once in a while. I'm not cooking all the time. Yeah, I told
I
you.
Did she
told the
say
refrigerator
that?
she wanna give me a sandwich.
Yeah, I'm good at making
Did he
sandwiches.
buy food and put it in your refrigerator?
Okay, yes, he did. Right?
His story sounds right on that one. Mr. Glover, I believe you.
As a school bus driver, I
Right.
also was taking care at the time my 12-year-old son. I was in school at night. You can't expect me to be cooking you meals every night. You working too. You can make a meal sometimes. We're dating. We're supposed to be enjoying each other at that time.
Did you want her to cook for you constantly as a dating couple, or
no.
was it just?
See, that's the thing. I cook too. It wasn't just her cooking.
You both cooked.
Say, Your Honor,
both
take
Well,
this
after the cooking, let's get past the cooking. What is your main complaint with Mrs. Glover? Let me do it that way.
Social media. We live on Instagram. If I go on my social media, right, somebody might like one of my posts, and I'll comment back and say I could just say thank you. And she'll say, well, who is this girl that you just said thank you to? And I'm like, whoa, like she just commented on my post or she just liked one of my posts. We'll be arguing for about an hour, maybe 2 hours later.
About a
that
post and a comment?
About that post and comment.
Do you get all
Now-
in his
now-
posts
now-
and
not only
comments
that-
and get mad about it?
Yes, Your Honor, because I have reason to. I mean,
Well, give me your best
for
reason.
example, I have evidence right here. Like
Oh,
he
let me
goes in
see.
DMs while I'm pregnant.
Evidence.
Yeah, hey, he goes in DMs. you know, flirting with other women, letting them know they look like something. Here it is, I'm big or whatever, you know, carrying your beautiful child. You're up there, other people DMs, letting them know they look like something. I see where you got your name from. Then he'll go liking all her pictures.
Well, what's your screen name?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Darian G. Darian G official.
Maybe you can translate this for me. I don't understand what's going on. You young.
Like, you know, he
what does
calls
that
me-
mean? I don't.
Oh, this looks like you were talking to.
Yeah, and he lets her know where, I can see where you
And,
got your name,
your name
from.
match-
You know,
Elsa.
yeah.
She had a nice picture.
And he's up there like a whole bunch of her
But she-
You
she-
were flirting.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yes, you
flirting.
were.
I was just saying she had a nice picture, and I understand why was so many
But
guys
the
commenting
picture
on it.
meets the screen name, and the screen name is moderately sexual. So you were
Yeah.
flirting.
Yeah, we were on the road one time because he's paid
Okay.
me out to be insecure. You made me this way, Jody. Anyway, he sat up there. You know, he was. You know,
That's
this
an
one girl,
old
this
school
right,
reference.
yeah. Jody, baby boy, y'all get it. He was up there talking to one of his exes.
Yeah, I beat her.
and he
Yeah, I saw
went
that.
by, she didn't answer her door. It was a text that I found. I couldn't get the evidence to you guys because it was in his old
BTA.
phone.
Well, what did it
But,
say?
Like saying, let her know that he had drove out in her backyard. Her drive-through, waiting for her. She didn't answer her phone. She didn't answer her phone when
What,
he
did
was
she work
calling
at a
her.
fast food joint?
No. At her home in Uptown or whatever in Philly, it's like everybody's house have garages. In the garages, you have a drive-through, so you can drive a car through it. And
I got you.
He said that he drove in the back of her house, waiting for her to answer her door or whatever, so he could, see her or whatever. And this is during the course while we were together, while we were married.
In the beginning.
And it's like, yeah,
In the beginning, right?
Okay, in the beginning, yes.
Mr.
but-
Glover, we
It wasn't something in my phone like that in the beginning because I was still filling her out, and this is the last person
While
I
we're
did
married.
talk to.
He had to fill me out while we
just
still
got
married, though.
We just got married.
Right.
We was married for like a
Well,
day.
the time for feeling things out is before marriage, not after.
Yeah, but we was married for like a day.
We weren't married for
When
like
you're
a day.
married for a day, for the first 30 days, she should be all you can see. You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean? That's just like
Okay, I give her that.
Mrs. on the brain.
Yeah, but my thing is, that was in the beginning. We 5 years in. I just found texts. Every time I go on her phone, I always find something bad in there. So,
Give me the worst one.
okay, the worst one was recent. I go through it and I see this guy that she dialoguing with. She texting him saying, "Oh, I'm on my way."
I didn't ever meet up with the guy. I know what he's talking about, though. It did happen like that. What he's talking about, it did happen.
Well,
like
isn't that a little off?
This is the
Listen,
thing
but
that
this-
threw me off. This is the
Okay.
thing that threw me off. She said at the end of the text, "I'm home. I'm home now." And when you say you home now, that means you left somebody's place
Right, but-
and let them know that you
Know
got
that you
home
got back
safely.
safely.
So I'm like, okay,
Mrs.
well,
Glover, that sounds suspect to me.
He wanted to get back with his ex. It's like he would belittle me. He would say, "Oh, you always acting like a child. We can't never get nothing done together." He's really a narcissist on the low. When you first meet him, they all sing when you first meet him.
Talk to me about it.
At the time that he's talking about this text, I was pregnant with our son, right?
Uh-huh.
And the guy that he's referring to, I went to school with him. He had cancer. He said through FB, stopped him laughing and stuff like that. And he was like, if you are through the West Philly area, just stop by and holler at me, because he didn't see me in a long time. I said, okay, I will. Right. I said, I will be on my way shortly. That's what it's referring to. So now you get to know the story. No, I didn't come at night because at the time that I was thinking, no, I'm not. At the
That's
time.
a whole lot of for a quick. I don't know.
They got my ass.
She
That's a
would
little
if you was
suspect.
going there.
Mr. Glover, you say dealing with your wife is like dealing with a teenager. Why would you say that?
Yeah, why would you?
Everything ends in an argument. Everything.
Give me an example.
Okay, we had a situation where we was coming out. Well, we was actually going into the studio, and we had in the building, like the front door and all that. We had to walk through the door, and there's other people that's coming from different studios. So a couple was proceeding out, and we was proceeding in, and I said, "How are you guys doing?" I just. There's other people that's coming from different studios, so. A couple was proceeding out, and we was proceeding in, and I said, "How are you guys doing?" I didn't speak to I didn't just speak to the female. I spoke to both
everybody.
of them. You know, they said hi back, and once we proceeded up to the studio, you know, oh, why you say something to that bitch?
Oh my God, no, I did not.
Like, what?
I did not call her a bitch. I did not know her to call her a bitch. Like, oh my God.
Tell me your version of that story.
Okay, so we going in or whatever. So he's making googly eyes with the female. He's a flirt. Like,
Give me googly eyes. What do googly eyes look? That's it.
It wasn't even like that.
That's googly eyes.
I had to
That's why
make
he was
up to
looking
the
at the
guy,
girl
too.
because she was dang near half naked.
Right.
So he's staring
So
at
he
her.
glanced.
He said, "How y'all doing?" Then he looked at the board today. I'm like, "Are you serious?"
She thinks I look at every woman
but
like
if
that.
you seen my photos before I gave birth to both of his children, I was the bomb too. You know,
still the
so
bomb.
You still the bomb.
Yeah, you still
and
the
that's
bomb.
another thing.
And he beat me to it so far. All I've got is minor irritation. I see nothing divorce court worthy at all.
No,
Tell
because
me
it's
something
like, he
that's
be
going to
like-
upset me.
Everywhere we go, he calls women queens. He calls them beautiful. He calls them the he compliments women more than he even compliments me. Then it seemed like he wanted to get back with his ex. It's like he would belittle me. He would call him, you know, he say, "Oh, you always acting like a child. We can't never get nothing done together. You always thinking my head is here, it's not there." He's really a narcissist on the low. When you first meet him, they all nice and kind when you first meet him. He's really nice. He's really, you know.
Really
but-
hurt, Mrs. Glover.
Yes, because he has done some stuff. He said some stuff to me.
Well, tell me what he said.
My makeup looks so nice. I ain't trying to cry.
Oh, you still look nice. Take your time and
when
tell
I
me
was
what
pregnant,
hurt you.
The fact that, you know, I told him, like, you know, we're in a relationship. I'm looking for something solid. He told me before that he had better relationships than me and him, you know. He told me that I'm lazy as a wife. That I'm like more of a roommate to him than a wife. This is before he even felt the text and stuff with the other guy or whatever, which wasn't nothing. I really didn't meet up with him, Darian. I didn't. And
What else?
I never felt this ugly being with anybody. Like,
Why
I'm
do
so
you
fat.
feel ugly?
It's just like everything else has his attention to me. Tell her when
You
I
tell
asked
me
him-
about a couple weeks ago.
I asked him, was he on
Yeah,
the
but I
phone
wasn't-
with one
I
of
wasn't
his
reaching
exes?
out to
And
her
he told
for-
me yes. You know, he was on the phone with her. He's like, "What, you wearing my phone again?" "Yeah, I can be in your phone. I'm your wife. I can check anything."
Is it what he says or what he doesn't do?
It's
Or
what
is
he
it a
said
little
and
bit of
what he
both?
doesn't do. I mean, who gotta tell their man that they would like to have flowers every now and then? I accept him. I'm perfect. You know, like I accept him when he leaves his jobs and stuff. I done helped this man with his child support before. You know, I done paid bills. Like then he'll turn around and tell me, "Oh, that was just a little bit. You know, I gotta hurry up and go work because your money ain't enough." And it's like, damn, well, I ain't have to pay your child support. You know, that's your responsibility. You know, I done put a lot of stuff on the line. Like even him telling me I'm not a good housewife. I'm trying to follow his lead on how I'm be honest, I don't know how to be a housewife. I never seen my mother be a housewife, my stepmother be a housewife. I see everybody work. I'm used to working and, you know, getting my own money. I like that, you know. He would compare me to certain family members.
Hang on. Mrs. Glover's very hurt about something, and I'm hearing what she's saying, but I'm not trying to get there with her. Do you know what she's talking about?
That's one of the main reasons why I came here, to try and get some clarity on what is the issue. Why can't we exist in the present? It just seems like every time we have a argument, we always go to far, far away, long, far ago.
No, because you call your exes every single time we get in an argument.
It's another
you
thing.
call your exes up. You look for clarity through them, like you're still with them, like you still want to be with them.
Yeah, but it's
and
assumption.
then when I ask you what's
There you
going on
go.
with that,
You
you turn
assuming.
around, you tell me some nonsense.
You can't assume, though.
Here's what I think I just figured out.
Like I'm not
You're
good
a
enough.
constant critic, and when she's less than perfect, You reach out to someone that you used to be with, and it's killing her.
I have done that in the past. I don't do that anymore.
No, tell her about a couple weeks ago. Tell her when
You tell me about a couple weeks ago.
I asked him, was he in the on the
but I
phone
wasn't-
with one
I
of
wasn't
his
reaching
exes,
out to
and
her
he told
for-
me yes. You know, he was on the phone with her. He's like, what, you were in my phone again? Yeah, I could be in your phone. I'm your wife. I can check anything. You check my phone. I don't never give him no problems. He can check my phone. He can do whatever he want to do. I've been solid since day one. Since day one, I've been loyal to him. When he tells me stuff, it's with me and him. I'm not running behind his back. Yeah, Darian, he left his drawers on the floor. Yeah, Darian, and it really pisses me off. When there's something going on with me, I'm not looking for somebody's to blame.
I got you. I'm with you.
Like I always say, it sounds good.
Mr. Glover, Mr. Glover, first of all, I'm not going to deal with the money thing because I know y'all ain't leaving one another. You love him too much and you're a decent guy and all. So I know all that. I know that's going to happen. And I'm not altogether sure what's going on here, but Mr. Glover, I'm going to give you my best shot. Sometimes, especially with the male partner in a relationship, you get in the habit of critiquing and don't realize that you express every discomfort, every complaint, and you never put anything on the other side. I'm making the money, so why isn't the house perfectly clean? I'm making the money, so why don't I have all the food that I want? And what happens is she starts to live your criticism, and she becomes an ongoing error. And she doesn't see you as a guy who says, hey, wow, baby, that was a good meal. Hey, when you work, you get a paycheck. That's applause. That's a way to go. When you're a stay-at-home person, you don't get that. You get a lot of critique, but you rarely get a, man, you really pampered that baby up today. You know what I'm saying? And when you get into the habit of being a constant critic, you find more and more things to criticize. And then she becomes smaller and smaller. And then you reach out to exes, which is like, this chick was better, and I settled for you. That's what it says to her.
He done said that to me before. He
That's
felt like
what
he
it says
settled
to
for
her.
me.
If you love this woman, deeper still, if you love your children, don't break their mother. She is going to be the primary source of strength, emotional support, and you're telling her she's wrong all the time. It's like having a Ferrari in the garage, and when it doesn't work, you go out and kick it. Doesn't make the Ferrari any better. Just puts dents in it. You're denting the mother of your children. Do you see where I'm coming? Did I hit anything correctly?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
And I don't think you think she's as small and as less than as she thinks you think she is.
Yeah, I think she's great. I tell her she's great, but
you
she
don't. You got to stop the criticism and start with the appreciation. You really, really, really do, because you're gonna break her. You understand what I'm telling you? Because I think you love her. Yeah. Don't get in the habit of being her biggest critic. Be her biggest supporter. I wish you both the best. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
We saw you get a little emotional back there. How'd that make you feel to see her break down like that?
It lets me know that it's something that really needs to be taken care of on my end.
We saw you hug it back there. Can we hug it out again here? Yeah. There it is. All right. Judge, today's case is fed up.
Pierre, I just mentioned before the break that we've been covering the Nolan Wells story. Honestly, it's been interesting because we have focused on this, laser focus on this story. Over a month, it's been pretty much the only thing we've covered.
Okay.
And the reason for that, personally, from a producer standpoint, I don't know what else there is to really talk about. The fact that this young Black teen can just disappear and then die, and then there's no explanation. I'm thinking about our safety. I'm thinking about my kids' safety. I'm thinking about a lot of people's safety. That can't be the excuse. What were your thoughts, or do you have any thoughts kind of going into it? And more specifically, do you find anything suspicious, Pierre, at all?
Suspicious? Yeah. Well, I don't know him, so give me an idea and I'll tell you if I think it's suspicious. I mean, give me a situation and I'll tell you if I think it's suspicious. You know, if you can come up with it.
Yeah, I just want to.
Devin, what you got on your?
I absolutely think it's suspicious, and there is absolutely foul play. There is no reason why, number one, that you would wipe your social media, period, right after it happened. And then also shouts out to the Black woman who was able to get that 911 call cleaned up to where we can hear somebody, speculation, suffering in the background and asking if he's alive or not. And then also, number three, I don't like the fact that some kids from the situation went on to that podcast with that anti-Black man to try to show their innocence, knowing that he's anti-Black. Yeah.
Wiping someone's social media, I understand. Do you know how people are vicious on social media? They'll pick anything apart, grab it. Oh, I'm saying, people do it. Other celebrities have done it, you know, cut their shit off, cut their whole page off and stopped it and stuff. Because the influx of disliking or something, you might have broke up with somebody, you know, one of those singers breaking, you never know. So I understand why you wipe I would turn my stuff off, or however you want to say it. I don't need no people on my social media pounding me to death. You know, you say something about Beyonce, you about to get it in your page. Quick, wasn't that Kid Rock had to turn this thing off because so many bees were coming in there and all that. I get it. So that I'm cool with. Turning it off, I understand that. To go to that white, to go to the other guys, what's his name? What's the guy named Brandon?
He was like he was like a coach or something.
If I'm white, I'd rather go to him than somewhere else that may. Why would I? I wouldn't want his parents going to Fox News. The only ones Fox News with, because they're vicious. They'll do all kind of stuff. They'll turn it around what she said and frustrate them. So I wouldn't blame her if she said, I'm not going to Fox News. I'll do CNN. I'll do some other place. I understand why she wouldn't go to Fox News. Look how Fox News would treat them. So would treat that family probably very bad. So I get that. So back to him. I understand why he went there. You know, not saying, you know, he probably didn't want to hear all that negative slant towards him. That's probably why.
Well, it was a group of them. So I'm just saying, if you have people saying that you murdered, or, you know, that you killed a Black boy, right? Why would you go to a well-renowned anti-Black man? It's just gonna.
Well, I could answer that, right?
Yeah.
From our end as a media platform, you know that there's going to be biasness in the type of questions. I think that's what Pierre's bringing up.
Sure.
The type of biasness that you're going to get. So if he came here, Hype is probably going to give some really strong questions that might put some slant on it in the guise, or excuse me, on the angle of y'all looking kind of suspicious.
Got that ass.
So it's easier to get a story
you shouldn't do it anyways.
That's going to
That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't even be out there doing interviews anyways, because now I'm just like, okay, so
I agree with that.
So,
I think it's a little too early.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, stay out of the
way. When I don't
way.
do interviews, there's like, why is he saying that? Why he being quiet? Why he?
But if you go into an anti-Black,
that's not the point. You just said he shouldn't do none. You said he shouldn't do none. Then.
No, it's a group of them. It was a group of.
I know, but I'm talking about him. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about one guy went and talked on the show. Did one guy go talk to him? Talk to that guy Tatum? Was it one dude?
One guy, and then he came back with a group.
Yeah,
I know the first time.
Warren came back, started the first time, and then he came back with his group.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's more so. Biasness. I don't know if it makes him look guilty versus more so what Pierre's saying. You know, they want to go somewhere they're comfortable with. I think Pierre made a great point, but I will say on my end, something very, very suspicious is going on. Something happened. I find it a little bit easier to believe that foul play versus a kid drowns and no one sees it, and then just there's a lot of things that just had to happen against him that day. This was like the worst day ever, right? I'm thinking about his friends. Okay, so your boat had to be messed up. Then you had to forget to give this guy the phone. Then your friend had to end up drowning. Then no one would see your friend drowning. Like,
that's the problem.
For things to kind of go the way it did, it seemed like a lot of misfortune happened at one time.
No,
And
you're right.
I don't know how much I believe for all that misfortune to happen versus someone did something and that, again, I'm not putting it on the boys. I honestly kind of think it could be other players involved in looking at it, which is why they probably feel confident to speak. Because even seeing them speak about it, they seem like the cops kind of already like, they're not even looking at us. They're not investigating us. That's the vibe they give me. That we are, my daddy know the sheriff. They said we good, so we're out here talking. That's the vibe I get. Whether they are guilty or not, they seem like they already got a cosign by the local authorities, which is why you have Nolan's parents moving the way they do, because they already don't feel that this is a together thing, that they are opposition.
Right.
So that's my standpoint.
Autopsy. Even down to the autopsy. Having to get a private investigator, having his throat still be in one state while his body is in another is crazy.
Right. From the optics, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good from the optics at all. One of my major things is, how did he drown and no one saw him, or no one like he was around a lot of people, you know, he didn't get back on that island by himself and no one else was there. So how did he drown and nobody saw him? There was no yelling, no one was in the water with him. He just went. That is really, you know. Now how that happened though, it might not have been no boys. The boys left. Okay, they left. Maybe someone else on the island. I don't know that part of it. You get what I'm saying? I don't know that.
There's a lot of
It don't feel right that this young man just drowned. He's an athletic. Like, people can die. I'm gonna say you can't be athletic. I know some football players who drown, you know, in the water. Professional football players. But the point
It's
is,
just too many coincidences. Is how I'm feeling.
him
Too
being
many.
the one being left behind.
First of all, black and white people, we just roll different. We're a little more cautious and fearful, okay? So we not gonna play around water and push each other around and throw somebody in the water as a game and all that kind of stuff. That ain't how we roll. White boys do a little more of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They might throw you in the water. You be like, I'm drowning. He ain't really drowning. You know, laugh it off and shit, you know, this is how they can be. And boy, you know, someone drowning, oh shit, he's drowning, whatever. That's one. That's why the white boy spoke up. We'll speak up. Like you just said, we'll walk away. Like, that's none of my business right there. They're not like that. You know, they're not, you know, as a whole, they want to speak up. You know, they want to be part of it. They think they're more invincible and so forth. We not. So a lot of that is, you know, that could add to it.
I do want to piggyback on the social media thing. I do want to ask you, John, so for me, if I knew that something bad happened and I wiped my social media, I would just delete my social media. I would just delete my apps. I wouldn't necessarily wipe it. That's where I was a little concerned. Like, if I feel like I'm getting a lot of negative comments or something, they did it like the same day or like the day after.
Yeah, there was a point we interviewed the judge real quick to co-sign that. We interviewed the judge and he pointed out that the mother, Ashley, the stepmother, Ashley Cole, the judge, she ended up taking her social media down. She said that in her her first statement when she came back.
Yeah.
And the judge questioned, why did you do that when he was only missing? I think there's just a lot of suspicion around it, whether these are young teens that are just panicking and were possibly under the influence, and I say possibly for legal reasons, but pictures have shown, matter of fact, you know, Warren did admit that they were drinking, as well as Trayston in another interview. Whether these are just dumb decisions, dumb moves all around, moves all around, or someone knows something. And again, my suspicion is something probably did happen to Nolan, where some foul play.
What y'all think about the case? What y'all think about Nolan Wells' case?
Quite feel it's just the boys that everyone's kind of pointing at. I think there's something else that we might be missing. We don't have the autopsy results back. We don't have a toxicology report back. But I can't just be like, oh, he drowned and end of story. That just doesn't.
We don't. don't know, and I don't care if he comes back and he drowned, you're still not gonna feel it. So it's.
I still feel like if he drowned, somebody helped him drown. That's how I'm looking.
Yeah, because if something happens, just say something. But if you're just you're trying to cover something up, I just feel some type of way.
Well, white folks have had so much of this kind of stuff towards black people in the history of us, blacks and whites. So of course we're going to lean towards that. And I don't have a problem with leaning towards it. It's just, I just need to see, where's the proof and what's the,
I wish his friends.
I want to get to the bottom of it at the end of the day.
I wish the friends showed a bit more empathy.
True, very much so.
And teamed up with the mom, because they could have did all this. Yo, Miss Wansley, I had nothing to do with it. Can we come and talk with you, and we can really dissect it, and then I'm here to support you. And somebody brought up a real good point. Why didn't they have RIP Nolan Wells t-shirts on? Really kind of get on this wave of yo, we trying to find out what happened to our dude. I don't give a damn what y'all saying. So I think there's some error, there's some defensiveness happening, of course, clearly on their end.
All right.
But I think there's a way
White folks don't do that. White folks don't put RIP shirts on. Let's stop it. Stop the madness. When have you ever seen that?
Charlie Kirk, they absolutely do.
They don't. Okay. For him.
Come on now.
Okay, for him. Name some other people.
I'm not in white people's business.
They sure did. They didn't do no spray paint shirts, but they sure was rocking.
You jumped in quickly. I can name a whole bunch of Ray Rays with RIP shirts all day long. So that's what we do. We do the RIP shirts.
Well, not the shirts. I'm just saying, in general.
Yeah,
not the shirts.
I said the shirts. He said the shirts. He said the shirts.
Oh yeah, I don't even do shirts. I don't do all that.
I'm just saying they could have. I think they could have spent it a bit more. And I honestly think they should have sat down with a 2020 or something like that. Someone really prestigious.
They're just trying to make it. They're just trying to act like they care and stuff by putting them shirts on. Them shirts ain't no real shirts. Them cheap shirts from Japan. Them shirts ain't even real good real good cotton. Oh my God.
That's a good point, man.
Let's find out. Let's just find out what the fuck happened. Let's just find out what happened. Okay, it don't feel right. Let's find out what happened. But let's get to the bottom of it. It's time to move on. I mean, once we get to the bottom of it, but we ain't moving on till then.
True. Absolutely.
That's right. Well, with that being said, Pierre, always a pleasure. This kind of remind me back in the day of Comedy Hype News Show, getting you to get on these topics and starting some stuff. So I appreciate that. With that being said, how can we continue to support you? How can we keep up with you? I know you're on Instagram, but are there other things that we can be mindful of when it comes to supporting you?
I got these 2 specials coming up. So we're actually right now in the middle of editing. Once I get off of here, I got to talk to my editors. They'll be dropping soon. One's called Don't Pick Up the Hammer. I haven't labeled the other one. But just like I said, support. Really, I'm blessed. I'm working. Support this. When you support this, it makes me happy. So you guys support this channel right here, man.
You're a real one.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been blessed. Come see me if you want to see me live in the city, or get in the comments and tell me how mad you are about me and how you hated me coming back. And
before you go, is Panic Room coming back? Is there conversation about that?
Oh yes. Oh no, yes, without a doubt. Especially right before I drop these specials. I've got a couple of interviews laid up, man. And I'll tell you something real quick. What kind of got me a little sad about me having a podcast was I would get some guests, some guests, not many, but some guests who would say, kind of don't want to talk about certain things. I was like, all right, but then they would run to your boy over there, you know who, and bump the gums about the same subject. I'm like, hold up. You didn't want to talk about it on my platform, but you're going to run to him or the other one? You run on their platform and talking? And you a brother and you down for us? Really?
That's right.
That really bothered me. I'm like, dude, I've known you in the trenches. I've come up with you, dude, in the comedy game for 30 years. And you don't want to talk about this or that, but you're going to run and tell him this or that? That's funky to me, man. Love the conversation. I'll come back again, especially right before I drop my special. Again, I love y'all over there, man. I'll see you guys around. Peace.
Absolutely. It was great having you.
Kadero, what's my Roblox?
All right, Mr. Carlos Moore, welcome to your first one-on-one with Hype Plus. How are you feeling today in the city of Atlanta? It's a little drizzly, but how are you doing?
Man, I'm feeling great. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we were able to see your commentary along the way with the Nolan Wells case, and it was refreshing to hear from somebody that not only looked like us, but also really had a background to speak on the things that people are commenting on themselves. So that was awesome to hear, giving your background as a judge of over 6 years. So for me, it's like, this is exciting. We get some real perspective and not just speculation. First and foremost, let's get into your story. Born and raised in Mississippi. What part of Mississippi?
I was born in Pascagoula, Mississippi, along the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and I was raised in Moss Point.
Awesome. Like, was that like your family was always there, or was that just something that somebody moved to? Then you were born. How long have your family been out there?
That's my mother's side of the family, and she's been on my mother was raised in Moss Point as well. My father is from around Brookhaven, Mississippi, in Lincoln County, Boca Chica. So he had moved down there to take a job at Ingalls, which was the largest employer in Mississippi.
Wow.
And he met my mother, and of course, I was raised there in Moss Point.
Now, we've always heard like bad raps that Mississippi gets around race relations. Going to your childhood, did you kind of experience that? Did you notice certain things? How like quickly did you kind of notice that race kind of played a part to the dynamics of Mississippi or elsewhere?
Now, Moss Point was one of the only cities on the Gulf Coast that was majority black. So the majority of my upbringing, I was around us from elementary school on up. I had black principals, black teachers for the majority of the time, same in junior high and high school. So I saw a lot of successful black people throughout the school system. I really didn't know much about racism besides my mother working. She worked for the Jackson County Port Authority, and she was only black in the executive offices. So I heard about racism through her lens, her coming home, talking about how she may have been mistreated or certain things that may have occurred to her, or may have occurred or happened to her, and some could have assumed it was because of her race.
Now, as a child, did you ever get like stories or hesitations of like being around all white spaces? Did you get early warnings? Were those conversations in your home back then?
I knew that from hearing my mother talk about her situation on the job, I knew that you had to be twice as good to get ahead. And she was looked over for several promotions, but she always advocated for herself, and she eventually did rise from the receptionist to a port commissioner. So I get a lot of my ambition and a lot of my tenacity from my mother. We refused to be denied, and I've always was raised to believe by both her and my father to believe that I was just as good as anyone else. I was no worse and no better. I was equal, and that's the viewpoint for which I have lived my majority of my life, all of my life, demanding equality and equity.
Wow. The path of becoming a black judge in Mississippi, did it come with obstacles? Oh, well, I guess I assume it would, but like, what did those obstacles look like?
First of all, I had to finish high school. I'm a first-generation college graduate, as well as law school graduate, and so first lawyer in my family on either side, and so I had to first become a lawyer, and never really thought about becoming a judge. I know when I finished law school, I think some people had that ambition for me, or that dream for me that I would become a judge, but that was not one of my dreams. I just wanted to be the best lawyer I could be and make a difference in that vein. And after several years of practice, I started practicing in 2002. I had my first opportunity in 2017, so nearly after 15 years of practice, I had my first opportunity to be a judge, and I took it. One of my friends became the mayor of Clarksdale, and he asked me if I would consider taking one of the two judgeships there, and I told him yes, and I got confirmed by the city council there, and the rest is history. And so I did that from 2017 to 2024, the first black judge in that city, and that was surprising to me because that city is majority black. It's 85% black, so you would have thought by 2017 I wouldn't have been the first. But that was a historic day, and I made up in my mind that I would try to make a difference on the bench for my very first day on the bench, and my first order of business was removing the state flag that then bore the Confederate emblem from the courtroom. I had the bailiff to take it out of my courtroom, first order of business, and it never came back during my entire tenure.
Wow. I definitely want to make sure we expound more on your career as a judge.
Okay.
But I also want to look at law. Like, there's someone who put you into the law, who told you, who was somebody, was it an uncle? Like, what made you go to the direction of law? Because I'm generalizing, but a lot of times black people's relationship with the law in general, there's friction there, the trust game. Like, but what made you feel like I'm gonna go that route?
I think it was just a natural inclination. I grew up watching a lot of Perry Mason, Matlock, LA Law, if you remember that. So I was always drawn into those kind of shows. And from a child, I was always told I was pretty intelligent, so I started believing it. And I think most black parents, you either, if you had any kind of IQ, they were going to encourage you to either be a doctor or a lawyer. And my parents, believe it or not, were very religious. And so they discouraged me from being a lawyer. And so I changed. I told them at 5 or 6 I wanted to be a lawyer. They discouraged me and told me lawyers had to lie, that I should probably go be a doctor. And so I, trying to please them, I set my sight on becoming a physician. If you read my high school yearbook, I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. But my natural proclivity from early 5 or 6 is what I wanted to be a lawyer. And so I tried to live that dream, but by my junior year of college, I decided I would take the LSAT instead of the MCAT. And the rest is history, as they say. I took the LSAT, got into 4 law schools I applied to, and finished at Florida State Law School.
Wow. Now, going back into, you gave us the path of how you became a judge. You know, I'm sure there's a lot more that came with it. Immediate order of business was remove the flag due to his racial tendencies. I did, of course, you know, from research, we know that the KKK was prevalent at times in Mississippi. Did you ever have any encounters with them while you were on the bench in terms of cases that were crossing those paths?
I wouldn't say that I had dealings with the KKK from any of the rulings I made from the bench, but I would say that I did receive 3 death threats as a result of moving the state flag from my courtroom. So people were so in love with the flag, that wore the Confederate emblem, that they thought enough of that flag to send death threats via social media, online.
Do you
What's good? What's
when you
good?
have you gotten death threats before then?
I
Or
see
was
I
that just
got
the
one
first time you
viewer.
ever?
How you doing?
In
We got 2
2016,
viewers.
before I went on the bench, I had filed a lawsuit
What's
against the
good,
governor in relation to the state flag, trying to have it declared unconstitutional. And I received 5 death threats in relation to that lawsuit against the governor about removing the state flag through the judicial system.
Hey man, y'all more than welcome to join.
Seeing that happen, what was your reaction? Did you kind of be like, it's just conversations, just talk, or did you really kind of have to position yourself to move a lot smarter or safe?
I did. I had to position myself and try to protect not only myself, but my family and my staff. And so I hired round-the-clock security to protect myself and my staff at the office. And I also had security position at my home to take care of my family, protect us during the trying period. It was a very stressful time.
Because as I imagine, a judge is a respected figure, I think, in our society, because, you know, there's a lot of power that sits at your in front of you. Did you ever deal with like racism of like citizens, private citizens, because you were a black judge? Did you ever experience that as well? Like when they weren't respecting your role because you were a black man?
Online, people were free to give their opinions about me, and you either loved me or hated me. And a lot of times, if you read the comments, it seemed that the minorities loved me, but some of the others, people in the majority, some of the white people, they did not like me. Now, there were plenty of white people that did like me, but there were certain that you would probably consider racist that were not ashamed to say that they were racist and call me everything besides a child of God.
Yeah. Again, we were able to kind of see or appreciate the context and the details that you were giving around the Nolan Wells case, the perspective. I have to ask you because, you know, I don't talk to black judges often. Are black people kind of targeted? Do you feel the system kind of like targets us in a way? And I use that lightly, but also given like who were you seeing come through that courtroom? Did it ever feel like, okay, this is like a pattern here?
I did feel that, and I still feel that minority populations, black and brown populations, are heavily policed, and we are policed to a greater extent than the white communities or the majority communities. In each town that I was on the bench in both Clarksdale and Grenada, the blacks were the majority. So I guess Clarksdale would have been 85% black, and Grenada would have been about 51 to 52% black. But the lion's share, I'm saying 90% or more of the people that appeared before me were black in each jurisdiction. So that is out of proportion, especially in Grenada. When if you only had 51%, I should have seen half and half, black and white, come in before me, but that was not the case. So I do know that black young people do not do anything to such an extent that the whites are not doing. If the black young people are doing recreational drugs or experimenting with drugs, they're doing the same thing in the white community. But those communities are not heavily policed, and so they're not getting tickets, so they're not getting arrested and coming before the judges. And so I saw mostly blacks in both jurisdictions.
Yeah. Did it bother you, or did you ever feel conflicted, or did you feel good that at least you're the one in the position to have that level of perspective that others may not have?
It did bother me in one sense, but one thing I created that was available to anyone that appeared before me was the Do Better ASAP program. It was an alternative sentencing accountability program where I gave youthful first-time nonviolent offenders a second chance. And I was creative in sentencing. In my sentencing, I would not just sentence them to jail or a fine. If they met my parameters, they kept a clean record. If they were making C's, I may make them make a B or A on the next 9 weeks and bring back the report card. If they had not received their GED, I may require them to receive the GED or get admitted to a trade school or college or community college or whatever it may be. And if they did that, they not only improved their station in life, but they kept a clean record. So I tried to think outside the box, and I tried to really make a difference and be impactful on the bench. And I also wanted to use my sphere of influence to help train other judges to do the same thing. And so Wildmark caught on to what I was doing, their foundation. And they donated $1 million towards training other judges across the country to do the same thing.
And that's where I was able to pick up through research and getting prepared for the interview, but even covering you. But your exit out of that position, it didn't seem like it seemed fair, or I was kind of not confused, but I'd love to hear from you. Like, can we expound on like that, like the exit? Like, why did you exit from that seat as a judge in Mississippi?
You know, a lot of people know that I moved to Atlanta in 23, bought my place in October 23, got married to a young lady here in January of 24, and have been here full time since. But in 25, even after I had resigned from my positions as a judge in Clarksdale and Grenada to move here after falling in love with the young lady, I was permanently banned from the bench by the Mississippi Supreme Court. And that was even after I resigned. I was investigated for comments that I made while I was president of the National Bar Association, I believe in the 21-22 bar year. And as a sitting president and as a sitting judge, I stated after the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict that if people still thought that we had a colorblind justice system, they refused to accept the ugly truth. Because I still to this day believe that if the roles had been reversed, Kyle Rittenhouse had been black and killed some white individuals, he would not have walked free. And that's just my belief, and I'm entitled to it. And I will believe that until he sees quite clearly color. And so I made that comment on one or more of my social media pages, and the Judicial Commission investigated me. Proper, and that I deserve to be banned for life.
At that point, it sounds like you were targeting just the fact that people make comments on. I wonder, like, who was watching that? You know, when you put that up there, or did it circulate enough, and then someone like tipped off the other people, and then you're on the Kelly Clarkson. Why are you watching me on Kelly Clarkson's show if you're not really liking me? So I'm just wondering, like, that seemed like a kind of a witch hunt to.
And actually, the way that happened, they really. The initial discipline was because of the Kyle Rittenhouse. Someone complained, I guess a citizen or some person off the internet complained about my comment about Kyle Rittenhouse, and they started investigating me for that. And as part of my defense, I voluntarily showed them what I had said on the Kelly Clarkson show, and they turned around and used that against me as another reason to punish me. And I know of no one that has ever been banned for life from being a judge. There's been judges that have done some egregious things. Right. I mean, DUIs. There's been some judges that left the bench right there in open court and fought litigants and were not banned. They may have received a 90-day suspension, but they were not banned for life. So we do believe that the sentence was extraordinary, to say the least.
Were there any black judges after? I mean, were there any other black judges? Were they already existing during this time, or were you kind of like the only one?
There are other black judges across Mississippi.
Well, I think in your county, or what you were presiding over.
In Grenada, in the municipal courts of Grenada, I was the only black judge. And then there was one other black judge that was appointed on the same day I was appointed. They remained in Clarksdale.
When you look back at all the work that you were doing, did you feel like a sense of betrayal from your own ecosystem?
I didn't feel betrayed by the systems that appointed me. Both Clarksdale and Greta would have a love for me to stay on the bench. And they never asked me to resign or anything. In fact, I was reappointed. I served 4 years and then was reappointed for another 4-year term in Clarksdale. And so I didn't feel betrayed by them, but I did believe that I was targeted potentially by the Supreme Court. This decision was not a unanimous decision. It was split again along racial lines, it seemed. The only black person on the bench, Supreme Court, said I had done nothing wrong. He gave a long, resounding dissent and said I had done nothing wrong. I exercised my constitutional right, First Amendment right to free speech. But the others thought that I had done wrong and deserved to be banned for life. So you have to wonder, was there any other reason besides race that they came up with two different opinions?
Well, one perspective is if you're a black man, you're going to have empathy for black, I don't want to say people that are break the law, and you're giving these alternative routes where they're not being thrown in jail. Because is it true that some of these prisons are privately owned, like institutions where they can make money off these?
Some of the prisons in Mississippi are privately owned. Most of the jails are county owned. So I had authority to put people in the county jail for up to a year.
Yeah. So I assume that locking people up is good business, is big business.
Some of the localities, they make money off of the fines and some of the things.
So if you're in there, I don't want to say you was disrupting that, but I just would say, like, if you're minimizing that or a part of that, I would imagine they would shut that down because the money's about to get messed with.
Yeah, some of the county jails, even though they were owned by the county, they could have been managed by private companies, and so it could have been getting into their pocket. I never thought about it from that vein, but that's
Listen, every time I go to the court, that's all they want. That's how it's always payment. Pay your fine, like traffic, traffic violations, always been like payment. So I've always looked at it from a level of, it was a way to it's a business to make some money. Now moving forward, I definitely want to get to the Nola Wells case. July 4th, as we all know, this gentleman would go on a boat with what people call friends, but we can discuss even that term. And he would end up disappearing from his friend group and from other people on the island, it seems. The friends will return, keys will be missing, things will not line up. 2 days later, he's found dead, washed ashore. Going to the conversation of friends, a lot of people are questioning, were these his friends? How do you feel about that? Are these his friends? Do you leave your friend with no phone and possibly even intoxicated? I say possibly because we have not got a toxicology report back yet. Let's talk about friends. Are these his friends?
I would call them associates. He may have considered them his friends, but based on their actions, they leave a lot to be desired. And my question is, with friends like his, who would need enemies?
Yeah, I think I've heard you say that because I think the issue on my end about it is the fact that if you know I was allegedly drinking, and I may not be in my right mind, according to their reports, they say, hey, let's go with that. Let's play along with that. Why would you leave me in a vulnerable position? And then in my research, and please let me know if I'm wrong, this maritime law thing, no one's really like talking about that because that's a BUI, that's drinking underage, and then I believe the captain of the boat is supposed to be responsible, ideally, for whoever he brings out there. So any perspective around that, is that an accurate breakdown of like there's things that are like negligent that are already happening?
Yes, I went live and I told several crimes that had potentially been committed that were low-hanging fruit that the local law enforcement could arrest individuals for, including underage drinking, boating while intoxicated, that type of thing. And civilly, the captain could be held liable for certain things that he allowed to go on his boat. And he was responsible for everyone that was on that boat, on his boat. And so a lot of things just don't add up. You don't leave friends who may be intoxicated or whatever. Teenagers, they are going to do certain things. They're going to be drinking on a holiday normally. And so if you thought he may have had a little too much to drink, you definitely want to leave him alone without his cell phone. He needs to have at least a way to get back in touch with people in society. And if he was going to stay with a young lady, normally you need your phone to get whatever information you need from her.
Get that number, get that social media.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think I was a little bit, I think, because a lot of people are already kind of saying friends are dead or position that their friends are part of it. But I think they lost in the court of friendship, right? Meaning like if I go with you, it would feel sensible enough to leave somebody in that vulnerable state unless you didn't really care totally about them or on a personal level. Me, you, and we was boys. If I got your phone, I'm not gonna leave you. Well, I'm not gonna leave you, but I would probably call. Hey, I got Nolan's phone. This is what's going on. This is the last place I've seen him immediately. Mm-hmm. And so I think it just became a lot of suspicious activity, and this wasn't things that friends would normally do. Mm-hmm. Now, there was a warning that one of his black friends, it was another friend that told him, yo, Nolan, be safe, as they were going to Horn Island or just before that. Why do you think the black friend said that? Was it because Horn Island's about to be majority all white people and is drinking? How would you interpret that if he was saying be safe?
I think in the back of our minds, we always know where we are. We know that we're in Mississippi. Having grown up there, I can remember being a professional, and I had a black friend that was a general surgeon, and both of us got invited out to somebody's camping ground in the middle of the woods at nighttime. And so we both knew we had to have each other's back. We're going to be the only two blacks out there in the middle of the woods with these professionals. Yeah. So it was understood that we had to have each other's back. And so Bowdoin, if you're going to be one of the few minorities out there, there's safety in having more than just one. Mm-hmm. And so you normally say, I got your back, or be careful, whatever. That's just understood.
And that's how I interpreted it, as if like he knew how the vibe could be out there, knew that he would probably be one of the only few. Because I believe there were, maybe two other, I don't know how many black people, not that many though, from the video, but there was like maybe a couple more. So to hear that, I definitely think that was like, yo, like, just be on, keep your head on a swivel. Don't get too lax. Just make sure you know what's going on, but have a good time. Now moving on, a lot of people are pointing fingers at their friends. From your professional opinion, what makes them look guilty?
I wouldn't say it makes them look guilty, but it definitely makes them look suspicious. The friends did not act as friends normally do. First of all, if you leave your friend back, you're going to know exactly who they stayed with. And from the very beginning, it's been conflicting information. The young lady allegedly was named Katie, and she says allegedly that Nolan told her that he was going back with the friends he came with. And those friends are saying that he stayed back with Katie. So one of those two cannot be the truth. And what we do know is that Katie did not lawyer up initially. I don't think she still has lawyered up, but we were told that the so-called friends lawyered up initially. They deactivated their social media, maybe scrubbed some of their social media initially. That's very suspicious. Why would you do that if no foul play was expected or had occurred? Because people drown every year. And if you just a witness to someone drowning, there's no need to be so afraid or
so fidgety.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I think you did mention that in your video. A couple of your videos you mentioned that. Now I have to also ask, like, they recently launched a donation page to try to push back defamations or alleged, claims. Does that look a little weird too? Because or is that just, kind of connect the dots in that way?
To me, as the young people say, they're playing in our faces. I mean, this is ridiculous for them to be raising funds for some alleged lawsuit. I saw that an attorney by the name of Russell Latino said that he would do it pro bono. He would represent the boys pro bono if they had been defamed. And so why do you need money? He's going to make that public record. He's not charging anything. So they are just trying to make money, professional grifters, I guess, off a tragedy. I happened to attend the funeral of Nolan Wells. I didn't know Nolan Wells in life, but I came to know him through his death. I knew a lot of the Wells and one's family members, having grown up there in Mississippi. So I went to the funeral, but I looked around for those so-called friends, and they were not found at the funeral. And so how could you call yourself someone's friend or best friend and not attend their funeral? I don't care what people are saying online. I don't care what your parents say, your grandmother say. You couldn't get me not to attend my best friend's funeral for any reason. I would be there.
I think that would have definitely helped some of the blowback they feeling if they pulled up and was standing with moms, or at least had that conversation. And that would have definitely, you know, at least I'm thinking that people would have been like, okay, I don't know what I could say really now that they're present, they're showing up. I did want to throw this question at you. We talked about the underage drinking. Why and can they do anything about that now, given that so much time has went by, can't do a breathalyzer? But why have they not been arrested, or why weren't they arrested from your perspective?
That's a good question. That's not normally how it's done. You utilize the law to your advantage. Any law that you see that someone may have broken, you hold them accountable and you arrest them, and they start talking about the greater crime. And so people that may have been underage drinking, boating while intoxicated, the adults that may have contributed to the delinquency of a minor, someone over 21 or older had to go buy the alcohol. So they contributed to the delinquency of a minor. So they hadn't been arrested at all. There are too many people that knows things, and if you're just giving people carte blanche freedom and not putting the pressure on them, no one is going to say anything. But when you start applying pressure, that's when pipes begin to burst.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense to me strategically, because it could kind of lead to one thing, especially with the drinking. To me, is a lot of red flag, because people make all kind of dumb decisions, whether it was a victim or someone that was an attacker. They were fighting out there. I'm sure that was alcohol influence, you know. Now, a lot of things were going on as this unfolded, a lot of suspicious activity. And I'm going to kind of highlight a couple of them for you. The first was, his phone and keys were not on his person. How did you feel about that particular information when you got that?
That in of itself, the phone, if you're out boating and the water was so high, you normally would have your phone on a dry location, so you would have left it in the interior of the boat or something. But the suspicious thing would come when if he allegedly told them he was going to go stay on the island with a young lady, he would have retrieved his phone. You know for certain you don't have it on you. And so that's one of the first things you're going to do.
I would think I would give you the phone. Hey, yo, here's your phone.
He would have voluntarily, when it retrieved it, his friends would have reminded him of taking it to him before they got on the boat and left the island. They would have seen it. And definitely if they just happened to forget to give it to him, as soon as they got back to land, they would have taken it to his mother or his father and said.
Because were they not, he was supposed to be staying at one of their houses, right? Like a sleepover?
He did the night before, allegedly, yes.
So I think to me that was a question, okay, if he's not going to go back with y'all, how does he get back to the house? Like, if y'all was his rider, unless somebody else was supposed to be out there, that's where it gets a little blank for me.
Correct.
Now,
was still at the friend's house.
Right. Another thing that kind of came up, maybe that's considered suspicious, that they didn't let his family know, particularly his mother, know till like 11 p.m. or something like that.
Yes.
That he was missing.
And I didn't understand that either, because if you believe the stepmom, they left Horn Island around 4:30. And so I don't know why.
I think that was the real mom. I think.
No, the judge is the stepmom.
She was out there too?
She didn't go out there. The real mom went out there, but someone released a statement on Facebook, and I believe that was Ashley Cole, that they left the island around 4:30. And so there's a lot of hours that would have passed between 4:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. So I don't know why they would have waited till 11 p.m. to call Miss Wansley.
Yeah, I think that was something that stood out for me, because it kind of helped support something possibly happening, things moving, things being deleted, if you're kind of getting all that time, that time we don't know what's happening. Now, I also will point out another thing that was suspicious is the inconsistencies in their storylines when it first came out, like the timeline. I will kind of give his grace, but Warren's real mother said that they left around 5. There was a DM message that we had covered. And then his stepmother said around 4:30 is when they left. But I was noticing a lot of inconsistency in times. Were there other things that time-wise that didn't make sense for you?
Yeah, I don't see why the stepmother and the real mother would have different timelines. What did Warren tell them? The truth never changes. And so he should have told them both the same thing. And so that tells me that if they are giving inconsistent statements, That's in line with what his statement is different from Katie's. So it's too many inconsistent statements, and that's how you know somebody's not telling the truth. And now we can't determine who's lying, but somebody's lying out of the group, because all of that cannot be the truth. Somebody has to be inaccurate. So
and that's from your professional background of knowing that when it's inconsistencies, there's behind that is something else going on.
Yes, and so I had to make decisions in real time as a judge. I would sit there and listen to the evidence from both sides, and then I can make a ruling based on what's more believable than not. What was proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah. Another thing that was interesting, because some of this stuff has been like interesting, coincidence, suspicious. It's a lot to take in sometimes. But his body was found in the same area, part of the island, where where he was docked at, or was ideally last seen, I guess. How do you feel about that? Is that coincidence? Is it? Because I thought once your body hits the water, it's supposed to get moved, or I don't know.
I'm no boating expert, but I find it suspicious that when the island was searched on the day before, his body was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And then to find it in the place where he was last known to be seen, if that's true, on Monday, 2 days later, that's very suspicious. Yeah. Was that body, did it just wash up, or was it planted there that morning?
Yeah. Did you just see the Cajun Navy's report that they put out?
I did see the report initially.
At least what I gathered that stood out for me was they pointed at there was no proof of the Triton boat taking on water. They don't have any outside of the call. There was no other proof to say that it was taken on water. That's what I got from that report, which I thought was rather interesting. But was there anything out of that report that maybe stood out too?
Yeah, I just found it very suspicious. The whole thing with calling CETO versus calling 911 or calling the Coast Guard if you were sinking, and then the CETO dispatcher asked whoever she was speaking to, did they need Coast Guard? And they said no, and that's not a normal response. If you're sinking and taking on water and about to lose your life potentially, you're going to want somebody very trained and professional that's close by to get there as soon as possible, and as many people as possible.
Yeah. Because it was interesting, the fact that the grandfather then called the captain directly and said, no, we good. Yeah. Now let's talk about the call. This audio call would leak. At first, the majority of us did not catch the background audio. That audio was then stripped, enhanced, or helped so people can hear it. And we hear a conversation that sounds like some foul play is happening. It sounds that way. I think I can say that, right? And what was your reaction to hearing that, the audio recording?
Yeah, when I initially heard the recording, I focused in on the conversation between the dispatcher and whoever the guy was. You can clearly hear what they're saying. I did notice initially that there was some faint sounds, a chatter, but I had not been able to decipher what was said, but when it was stripped by audio engineer or enhanced or without the use of AI, you can clearly hear certain things being said, and that led me to believe a wonder was known actually on that boat.
Yeah, I from a professional perspective, is that audio enough to where arrest could have been made, even off a suspicion of what we were thinking we were hearing? Is that enough?
Coupled with other things, I think it's enough for an arrest warrant to be made at this time. I would feel comfortable knowing all the things that I know if the law enforcement presented me a certain name or names of people that they wanted to be arrested for certain crimes, and they laid it all out as I've understood it from the publicly disclosed information. I would not have a problem at this point signing arrest warrant or arrest warrant.
And then what happens if we got it wrong? It's just, is there like any repercussions from that person? I mean, what's the risk of just locking somebody up off the conditions that you just mentioned?
It happens all the time. I mean, there's no real risk.
I got detained for 10.
For 10?
For 10.
Yeah. And so they do it to...
They stopped me for 10, and then I got put in cuffs.
Yeah, it's no repercussions to the judge or the prosecutor. The law enforcement, they do their job, and they do the best they can. The judge would have found probable cause to sign the arrest warrant. Judges have judicial immunity, so you can't be sued or successfully for signing an arrest warrant. So there's no risk to the judge. Most prosecutors have prosecutorial immunity. So I mean, they do it all the time. Law enforcement has qualified immunity, and so what we do know is had the roles been reversed, the black guys that came back to land would have probably been arrested within 24 hours.
Of course. You know, one thing that you kind of led with that I think a lot of people heard or felt and appreciated was you calling out how things were not moving according to how they normally would with a potential cover-up from a local law enforcement level. Don't know if you can say that, but ideally, do you think a cover-up was taking place at some point along the way?
I believe there are a lot of suspicious things that have occurred in this case from the very beginning. Since Nolan went missing, Ashley Cole, by her own admission, deactivated her Facebook account or her social media accounts. She says it was because of she wanted to protect her young children, but who was threatening? We didn't
even know you, I think, at that point.
Yeah, so on July the 4th, no one had in mind about threatening her children. So why would you assume that they would have been threatened just because someone allegedly drowned on Horn Island? That's not a safe assumption. It had to be something more to it. And for those boys to lawyer up, they have a right to lawyer up, but as I told someone, if my family member came to me about something that happened on Horn Island and recounted it to me, as a lawyer, a trained lawyer, I'm going to listen to the facts. I'm not going to advise them to lawyer up if I don't think they committed a crime. You only advise someone to lawyer up if they potentially committed a crime. If you just was a witness to somebody drowning, you can be a witness and testify and recount that freely with no risk of going to prison. So that tells me that something may have gone awry there that could have had some criminal culpability for one or more persons for them, if it's true that those boys lawyered up on July the 4th and July the 5th. And then for the boys to eat together, be seen together on July the 5th eating breakfast at a restaurant instead of being out there with people searching for their friend or best friend, that's not normal circumstances. I mean, if any of my boys were missing and I was one of the last ones to be seen with them, I'm going to be out there with the family trying to show them where we were hanging out or where we were and trying to help find them. I'm not going to be having breakfast at IHOP or Waffle House or anywhere else for that matter.
I wonder how much is that of them being guilty of something or just showing their true colors of maybe how they felt about him. You know?
I don't understand. I mean, instead of going to the funeral, I believe Warren was talking to Officer Tatum on the day of the funeral, being interviewed, and he allegedly was still calling him his best friend. So I don't see how you could not be concerned about your best friend and not out there trying to find him. And I also don't understand why the father said he couldn't find a boat the night of. He says that he didn't have friends with boats, but if your son had friends with boats, they should have gone back out that same night at midnight and started searching for the guy. They didn't offer the boats that night. I'm understanding that they were
that kind of broke me. Yeah. They kind of hurt a little bit to be like, I would have went out, but I ain't got no friends with boats.
Correct. And so, but you know, your son had friends with boats because he was out there. That's how he got out there on a boat.
So Dad already was not rocking with him based off how he had to get the keys and all that. He said that in multiple interviews. Once you kind of show me that you can't be trusted, you seem like you're lying, then that's hands off for me.
Yeah.
So the audio call would go out. It did seem like the things were saying that no, Nolan, is he dead? There was other things people heard. What did you hear from your ears on the audio?
Is he dead? Nolan, I believe someone may have called Bart's name out at one point.
Definitely said.
And so all of that is it's very alarming to say the least. But I believe that potentially places if they called out Nolan's name, that potentially places him on the boat. And you couple that with the audio from between the conversation between the dispatcher and whoever was talking to the dispatcher. She asked specifically how many people were on the boat that was alive. And I believe the person said around 7-ish. Is either 7 or is it 6 or 7 or is one of them half dead or you're not sure they're dead or alive or what? But 7-ish is a strange response to someone to ask you specifically how many people are alive on the boat.
Where did your imagination go can we I don't know. You let me know what we can't legally say, but where did your imagination go when you heard the audio?
I would believe that Nolan was on that boat based on from the audio and then the enhanced version as well as the regular version. I still believe, even without it, I would believe that he was on the boat without the enhanced version.
Yeah. And when I first listened to it, my mind went there to add some layers to it. It felt like either he had like a really bad accident or someone had did something to him, and then a boat pulls up, and then that's when the friend's like, oh my God, like Nolan. I always felt that he came up to that boat, and then that's why you got this huge reaction. How I heard the audio.
Okay.
Re-listening to it, I'm not trying to be disruptive because I know people definitely are pointing fingers at his friend group. I also was like, damn, but I heard like, instead of Nolan, I heard like, no way. And then instead of it's dead, I heard like, oh, is he dead? I heard like, it's dead related to the bilge pump. That's how I kind of was able to hear it.
Okay.
When is the last time you heard the audio call?
It's been a few days now. I would love to hear it again in real time.
Yep. We're going to play it for you.
Okay. Cecil Assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir?
No, we do not need that.
All right.
Oh my God.
Oh, let's go. No, we do not need that.
Cecil Assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir?
No, we do not need that.
All right.
Oh my God.
See it? Yeah.
I can hear "Oh my God" clearly and wake the F up.
I heard that.
I can hear that.
And then we know Bart came later. I think it's is he dead or is it's dead? And that's why I asked, with that alone, could they still could those in authority could have at least moved in on it to be like, we need to bring you in, because we got this 20 days after this was recorded, the general public. So I just wondered, did authorities listen to it? Did they listen to it like how we did as general public to say, hold up, what's that in the beginning? Or did it just listen to the basic call like we all did originally?
So we won't know because the investigation is private at this point. But we do know that now that it's in the public sphere, they've heard it and they still have not made an arrest. And that's very concerning because we know he potentially was on that boat and certain folks have said he stayed on the island. They left without him. They left him on the island with Katie. So how did he get on that boat or get him around that boat if it was two boats? So if he was not on their boat, what other boat came up and had him on it where they would have been saying, oh my God, and wake the F up?
Yeah, because I thought it was, what's his name? Bart? Gentleman Bart's boat? Because he's clearly comes up, he's supposed to give the tow. So I assume that that's where, according to the audio, how it seemed on the audio, that's where Nolan was positioned on that particular boat. But then he has went against that and said that's not the true and everything. Okay. Why do you think no one has been at least apprehended under suspicion at least? Everyone's getting interviews, but no one's really.
Yeah, I just think it's because in Mississippi, a lot of the times race plays a factor, and then a lot of times your socioeconomic status based on who you are, your parents are. And we have some very prominent people, at least the parents wise. I believe there are maybe a dentist and an emergency room doctor, a pain doctor, a judge. And so parents of some of these boys that were last seen with Nolan, his alleged friends, are pretty powerful or influential or relatively wealthy individuals in that town. County.
Now, one of the theories that I have in terms of Nolan's passing, I assume that he might have been pushed off of a boat. That feels like that can be able to fill in the gap that no one's seen what happened, because he was like out on the water. He wasn't on the shore where everybody was at. and he was pushed off the boat. How is that possible to prove in that case that someone was pushed off a boat? Is it possible?
You would need witness testimony. Someone would have to testify that they saw someone push them off. And that's why I've always had this question. If he drowned, who saw him get into the water? How did he get into the water? Even the pathologist that did the second autopsy says the way he got into the water is going to be very important. Did he voluntarily get in there? Was he forced against his will? Was he pushed accidentally? Was he pushed on purpose? All of that will come into
so who saw him drown?
The cause
that's the big question.
And so
who saw him drowning for you to rule it as a drown?
Someone to tell. Unless there's some video or audio, it's going to take someone's honest recitation of what happened.
Yeah, I was curious about that, right? Because from your professional dealings with different cases, the fact that no one has told anything yet, what does that say about the individuals that aren't telling? Are they like a certain type of mental space? Because that's a lot of pressure. There's money, it's high profile. What does that maybe tell you about a particular individual who can keep quiet about a crime or alleged crime like that?
What I don't know is the reason they're keeping quiet. Whoever did anything untoward to Nolan or participated, we don't know how powerful they are. We don't know what kind of threats they've made to witnesses. And people are going to protect themselves first. If their lives have been threatened, if they say anything, coming up on people that's come up on the streets, they say, what do they say? Snitches get stitches.
Of course.
And so that's pretty much understood. So I don't know how gangster, whoever did this, if someone did do something to Nolan, I don't know how gangster they are. Without knowing that, I cannot tell you the reason or describe to you the type of person that will remain quiet. Because if the person is gangster, they probably remain quiet for good reason because they want to remain alive. But if the person does not have a reputation for being gangster or threatening, I would just think they're inhumane not to say anything.
Yeah, and you might have touched on this already, but what is the biggest red flag that you think people should zero in on that potential foul play could be at work here? Like, what's the thing that's like, this makes no sense to me?
I mean, it's several things. I'm interested to find out whether or not the lungs were waterlogged. I understand when he was found, those that found him said he appeared not to be waterlogged, and which that would tell me that he may not have drowned because there would be water in his lungs. And then if you examine his lungs, you will also be able to see if it's fresh water, salt water, or what kind of water was in his lungs. And so, interesting enough, the lungs were never provided to the second autopsy specialist or pathologist to review them. I'm also going to be interested in seeing if there was any damage to his throat. The second autopsy, Dr. Mitchell, the pathologist, he didn't get the throat. So the state has that in its possession. So the state is sitting in the catbird seat. They have the portions of his body that will tell you certain things or not. And so the $1 million question: will they ever give those portions of the body to the Dr. Mitchell for him to examine himself?
Yeah, and what I thought was interesting is that then the authorities said they were going to be transparent.
They did.
I'm not seeing it. I'm getting more updates from Nolan's family in regards of Ben Crump and how they've been moving about it. Do you think the way that they're handling the case is like the right way in terms of they're saying we're sticking to protocol? Because in my opinion, this is not like any other cases that have came down the line in recent years. And I think we need transparency. We need updates, because what it's creating is the effect of assumptions and people with theories. And now you have, if these friends are innocent, they're become victims of this ecosystem you've created by not hitting you with the facts right away. Like, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. So any thoughts about how investigators and the local authorities are handling it?
The local authorities could really resolve a lot of the doubts at this point if it just came out and said, we believe this was a drowning because of AYZ. We've done the autopsy. The lungs came back full of whatever kind of water. There was no strictures to the neck, no damage to the neck or the throat. And they could resolve some of the doubts right there and just tell us what they have found and why. and then allow the family to have access to those same body parts and do their own examination and see if they come up with the same conclusion. But to keep everybody in limbo and saying you're doing a confidential investigation, you can't reveal any of the facts until it goes to the grand jury. That's not the way it's normally done. I mean, you could tell certain things to calm down the community if you wanted to. Law enforcement is sitting in the catbird seat, and they could.
Because I would imagine they have a lot of key evidence by now.
Correct.
With help from the FBI, phone, digital investigations. I'm sure they probably have a good idea what took place. But for whatever reason, they are not disclosing that. Do you think them not? Because it's either something that we don't want to hear as far as people that are supporting Nolan, or is it because it may incriminate certain people? Why do you think they will hold on to this information?
My personal belief is if it was something that exonerated the so-called fringe, I think they would release it sooner than later.
Right away.
But if it's something that may implicate the so-called fringe, the people that they may know, that's the reason to hold it longer than not, because I've seen it time and time again, and you've probably seen it. Law enforcement will release video footage of someone that may have broken somebody's house. They'll ask the public to help them identify certain people. So they release what they want to release when they want to release it. That's part of the investigation. But if it helps them figure out something or whatever, they will release it. And so they could release parts of this if they wanted to at this time, and it would not be anything criminal in nature to do so.
Yeah. Now, if this is a crime, there has to be a potential motive. Typically, that's what there's like a motive. There's a reason why someone did X, Y, Z. From your viewpoint, your personal belief, what would be the motive? Why do you think we no longer have Nolan with us?
There could be several things at play here. It could have been alcohol and drug-induced rage, and sometimes people become a different version of themselves once they have been drinking or intoxicated or ingested certain illegal substances. So something could have happened that people got out of their minds and reacted violently towards Nolan. There's also been other suspicious things around the country. We do know that the Carmelo Anthony situation with Austin Metcalf in Texas was very controversial, and some people believe that this may have been payback for Carmelo killing Austin Metcalf. And so that would be a motive if that line of thinking has to be looked into, because we do know that not only did Nolan come up missing on July the 4th, but there are other people that came up missing around similar timeline and with similar demographics as Nolan. And so we do know that neo-Nazis, neo-Confederates are on the rise in America, and now it's cool again to be openly racist. That's pretty sad. And so we have to look at all. Could have been something that was local to Horn Island, or it could have been something more sinister that was payback for something that happened in Texas or similar.
Yeah, upon research too, there was an incident where the KKK was passing out flyers in Ocean Springs several years ago. And that was interesting. I don't think it was like too crazy, but to support what you just said about neo-Nazis, those people still exist. They still move around. I don't want to necessarily put it on a particular political party, but a certain political party has gotten certain allegations against them. I do want to point out that Tracy Shepard, have you seen the picture of him with F. Joe Biden t-shirt on and Make America Great Again?
I did see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was real or AI enhanced. Or
I'm going to go with real because I found it very early on, before I think things got really crazy. Yeah, is there could that be connected to the storyline or in terms of politics? Does politics find itself in a motive area as well? Not putting it on him in particular, but just those dynamics.
I do know, having grown up in Jackson County, is heavily Republican, and especially Ocean Springs, that part of Jackson County is very Republican in nature, and so I would not be surprised if there are a lot of Trump supporters a lot of MAGA supporters openly and proudly supporting that type, what I call foolishness, but to each his own. But I don't know that they would have gone so far as to kill someone because they were MAGA. I would believe that if it was an intentional killing, it would be more in line with somebody that may have been going through initiation in one of those neo-Nazi groups or neo-Confederate groups, or trying to get in the KKK to get their first kill or whatever. It's similar to gangs. From what I understand from law enforcement, you have to be initiated some kind of way. And so I will follow that track to see if it had anything to do with initiation to some type of white supremacist group, or did it have anything to do with the Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf ordeal out of Texas, or was it just an accident, or was it just someone that got drunk and overreacted?
You mentioned the Carmelo Anthony case. Real quickly, did you agree with the outcome as far as the sentencing? Did that seem a bit extreme just from your experience?
35-year sentence for someone that claims self-defense who was not the initial aggressor. I think it was overboard. I think that the jury returned a verdict very fast. I believe their minds were already made up. I don't believe there was a person of color, definitely not a black person on the jury. And so it seemed very unfair in a sense. I believe that had the roles been reversed, Carmelo would have received the benefit of the doubt. But I believe this Austin Metcalf was much larger than Carmelo. He was the initial aggressor.
It's a one-time too.
It's a one-time, a one-off. So do I believe that Carmelo may have overreacted? He might have. It may not have been my response to just stab someone with a knife, but you would think a fist fight should have been able to resolve it. But the kids these days, they don't fight fair anymore, but they don't just use their fist, they're using a weapon of some sort. And so I was not there in real time. I don't know if it was a reasonable fear, but if a young, skinny white guy would have said that he was afraid of a big, muscular, heavy-set white guy, people would have believed it and probably said he did the right thing to defend himself. So
I think that definitely looking at that situation, everyone lost in that. No one really, there's no real winners. It just did seem a little bit like I was believing more so Carmelo's side because it felt like he did it one time. That might have been an overreaction, but I don't think he was intentionally trying to kill the guy. It was kind of like I told you, get up off me now. And then because when he got arrested, when they at least not arrested, but they apprehended him, he was not. Sure, he was like, is he okay? He was like, because I could tell. This was I don't think he's had anything on his record before. So it just made me seem like it was a bad move on his end that turned into a person losing their life. But I don't think it was like an intentional, I'm gonna kill you stabbing.
Yeah, it definitely was not premeditated or anything. So 35 years seems excessive under the circumstances. Especially when I just heard yesterday a guy that was going 100 miles per hour killed 2 black women going 100 miles per hour. He only got 6 months in jail as a sentence. I mean, 2 black lives gone, and you clearly were way above the speed limit. You had to have known that you had the potential to kill someone driving that fast, and you only get 6 months. And so, but a white guy that did it to 2 black women. So race, it seems to play a large part in the criminal justice system. And a lot of the times we get the book thrown at us and they get a slap on the wrist.
There's in this case, based off what you said in terms of Nolan Wells, it seems that eyewitnesses will be the biggest asset to figuring out exactly what's happening. Katie seems to be, the young lady Katie McCormick seems to be a very important witness to be able to say, hey, where did you last see Nolan go towards the last? Like, did you see him get on the boat with his friends? Like, how do you feel about her? Any issue with her not being publicly open? We haven't heard from outside her sister's post. Any concerns with that?
Yeah, she remains a person of interest to me personally. She's very key. She's going to be a strong witness because how certain is she that he was going to get on a boat with his friends that he came with? Did anyone else hear him say that? What time did he tell her that? Did she see him physically go towards the boat like he was going to get on? Who did she ride back with? Yeah, she's going to be very key. But what leads me to believe that she's probably more likely to tell them the truth than others is that she didn't lawyer up. She's been willing to speak to her sister from the beginning without any one saying that she lawyered up. So if she had something to hide, it seems that she would have lawyered up or not been even allowing her sister to speak. I'm still confused as to why her sister is speaking versus her, but at least someone is getting her side out there.
I think we want to see her on camera and release at least that